Hello everybody, my name is Suman Dua. I'm a registered migration agent at Nationwide Migration and Education. In this video today, I want to share my planner that I have created going from a student visa to a permanent visa. So this planner I have also posted on my Facebook page, so you can download it, print it out and put it in front of you if you are somebody who is studying in Australia and eventually they want to get permanent residency in Australia, or maybe you have just started your temporary graduate visa and you're thinking of the steps that you have to follow during your temporary graduate visa so that you reach your permanent residency goal. So as you can see in the planner, I have put 5 stages. So usually stage 3 is the ideal stage, but unfortunately only 10% of international students reach stage 3. So let's talk about the stage 1, which is when you are studying to become a permanent resident in the future in Australia. Also, please note that not everybody studies and have the goals to remain in Australia permanently after their studies. So this planner is specifically for those who are planning to stay back in Australia and want to make Australia their permanent home. So when you're at stage 1, which means when you're studying in Australia or you're about to study in Australia, there are a few questions that you need the answers for. And it's very important that you choose your course very carefully so that it leads to permanent residency in the future. So you will need to know that if you're studying the right course and what is the occupation outcome of the course you are studying. You also need to know what is the skills assessment process with the occupation, which is the outcome of your studies. You may also want to do some research about the job opportunities that you're going to get after studying this course or while studying this course. There are a lot of other factors as well that you will consider. For example, are you studying in the right state for your course? And what are usually the state requirements for their international graduates? Are you in a state who supports their international graduates, or do you have to go and find a job and again show some work experience before the state will nominate you? So these are the questions probably you would ask your migration advisor to help you with. I have also created various videos regarding the right course and the right state. I will put the link in the description. So you might be someone who has already completed their studies and you're at stage 2. Stage 2, I usually call it the planning stage. So you're planning things right so that you can get permanent residency in the future. So at this stage, you have almost finished your studies or you're about to finish your studies and lodge the temporary graduate visa subclass 485. Please note that only 30% of students will reach this stage because most of the courses that some of the students are doing, they do not qualify for a temporary graduate visa. So during this stage, you're preparing to lodge your temporary graduate visa and you already have the steps drafted on how you're going to use the temporary graduate visa. Take note that the temporary graduate visa is like a bridging visa in between your student visa and the permanent resident visa. Only if used wisely, you will be able to reach your permanent residency goal. This is a very important step in your journey to become a permanent resident. So during this step, usually it is recommended that either you have a job lined up in your nominated occupation or you are looking for a job in your nominated occupation. It is also very important to see if you are already in the right state or would you have to move on your temporary graduate visa to a state who supports your occupation. This is also a stage where I highly recommend that you do take professional migration help so that a migration advisor can help you draft down the steps for you. The next stage, which is stage 3, where you're getting ready to become a permanent resident or you're almost ready to become a permanent resident in Australia. Only 10% of international students reach this stage. During this stage, you're already on the temporary graduate visa and you're working on increasing your points. During this stage, either you have already organized your skills assessment or about to get your skills assessment organized. Ideally, you are working in your nominated occupation and trying to get the invite from the state. So you might have already started lodging expression of interest with your state or any other state where you're eligible, or you are almost ready to lodge the expression of interest. During this time, you're also considering employer-sponsored visas, especially if you're somebody who already has 2 years of full-time work experience in their nominated occupation. it might be a good idea to check with your migration advisor if you are on the right track, or if the initial plan that they created for you or you created for yourself, does it need any tweaking, or you can go with the same plan. As you know that the migration laws keep changing all the time, so it's very important that you keep yourself up to date and stay in touch with your migration advisor. So during this step, either you have lodged your permanent resident visa, it could be a skilled visa, or it could be an employer sponsored visa, or you have already been granted a permanent visa during your 485 visa period. If you are somebody who could not get a permanent residency during stage 3, then you will move on to stage 4. So this is the stage where you're actually fixing things and trying to make things right from now on. This is because you missed out on getting permanent residency during your temporary graduate visa duration. It could be because you studied the wrong course, or you did not take the right steps during your temporary graduate visa. Maybe you were not working in your nominated occupation and did not try to increase your points or move to the right state. At this stage, you are usually back on a student visa and trying to study a course which now has a valid occupation outcome, which you can use in the future to get your permanent residency. During this time, it could be yourself or your spouse who is studying the right course and trying to achieve permanent residency through the occupation outcome of this new course. So basically, you're starting everything from stage 1 again. So if you're somebody who is at stage 4 where you're fixing things and trying to make things right, it's very important for you to take migration advice. You want to confirm and double check that you're on the right track, so this time you do not make any mistakes. So stage 5, where you're hopefully ready. So this is if you have taken the right steps this time, you're working in your nominated occupation, you're working on increasing your points, and if you have 2 years full-time work experience, you're also considering employer-sponsored visas, and of course you have taken migration help during all this time. So you are doing all the right things during your stage 5, and most importantly that you are taking migration advice so somebody can guide you if you're on the right track. Like I said before, this planner is available on my Facebook page to download, so it might be a good idea for you guys to print it out and probably refer to it and see what stage you are at. I would like to know what stage you are at the moment. Please put it in the comments. And doesn't matter what stage you are at, if you need any help and if you have any questions, please get in touch with us. Stay updated about Australia's immigration. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel.